Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Thank you so much for being here. I have two very special guests. This is Lucy and this is Jackson. So I was perusing on the TikTok as one does, and I started seeing some of these viral like yarn dyeing hacks, and there's just one girl in particular who is absolutely amazing. She's an amazing fiber artist. I will link her TikTok and her website down below. When I saw some of her fiber arts, holy cow, I was like, I want one of these in my home. I went to her website, but she is sold out. She is sold out of everything, and I'm so happy for her because she's an amazing artist. And when I saw this one mountainscape that she created, it reminded me of the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is where my parents live, and I wanted something that I could hang up in here to remind me of home. Now, I did two different pieces. The first one, let's just say the struggle was real. There was a minor disaster, but I don't think it totally ruined the outcome of this project. I actually still really love it, but you will see that in just a little bit. For the first one, I used macrame cord, which I ended up running out of macrame cord like mid-project, so I ran over to Michael's, got some more macrame, and while I was there, I picked up some yarn, and let's just say the yarn is way easier to work with. For both of these projects, I used RIT dye. Now, something to note when you're using a RIT dye, your dye bath has to be warm. So you have to heat your water up first and then add your dye in. And also your material that you're dyeing needs to be wet. So you need to pre-soak either your macrame or your yarn or whatever it is that you are dyeing. And obviously a no-brainer, you should use gloves because my nail beds are now dyed blue, but that's neither here nor there. So if you guys like videos like this, please feel free to subscribe. I'd love to have you here. I make videos on DIYs, home decor, home product review, and more like that. So without further ado, let's get into the first one where I did a little mountainscape. Let's take a peek at this scrap wood pile. What is this? This will be perfect. There's a little piece up here. Ooh, just like a little trim piece, but that'll work. I might have to cut this down because that's really long. Here are the two scrap pieces of wood that I will be using to attach my yarn to. This is just a simple one by that I think I ripped down for a different project, but you can find wood similar to this size at your hardware store. I'm pretty sure this is just a piece of trim. So since this one is kind of battered up a little bit, I'm going to be showing you two different methods to attach either your yarn or your macrame cord to it. For the one that's kind of beaten up a little bit more, I'm going to do a lark's head knot to attach my macrame cord to. I've cut this piece of macrame cord to 3 feet. I think that is going to give me the length that I want because this is all of the macrame cord that I have, so I don't know if I'm going to have enough. I might have to run to Michael's and get some more. Make a little loop at the very top, wrap the loop around the back. So now you have the loop on the back and your 2 free strands hanging in the front. You're going to put your 2 strands through the loop, just like that. So this is the loop you put around the back. Your strands are through the front of the loop, and you're just going to pull it tight. I'm going to go ahead and cut a whole bunch of 3-foot strands so then I can attach them to the rest of this piece. Now once you have a 3-foot piece, or however long you're going to be doing it, you don't need to run it along the tape measure every time. Just match up the piece you just cut and then cut your second piece. We're just going to go ahead and do the next one, fold it in half at the top and just scooch it right next to the next one. So I've gotten this far with what I previously cut. Cut some more, but I don't think I'm going to have enough to finish this one, and I'm definitely not going to have enough to do this one. So I'm going to have to go to Michael's, pick up either some more macrame, but I might get some yarn. I'm going to get acrylic, and then one wool, and then we got some more macrame cord, and then we're gonna see what dyes the best. Back from Michael's, have a new thing of macrame cord. So far I have it to about just shy of 21 inches. Now I think this is as far as I want to go because I feel like that is a nice proportion to the length of the macrame. So I'm going to take this down to the garage, cut the rest of this off, and then I will just tie on a few more to kind of cover up the end. I got my little piece up here cut down to size. I added 1 rope on the end, and now these are all kind of curly because they've been on this spool for so long. So what I'm going to do is just go in with my hair straightener, flat iron, a curling iron would probably work too, and a regular iron would probably work. But I'm just going to go in and straighten out all these little curly cues. So this kind of mountainscape. So I think what I'm going to do is put painter's tape kind of in the first row of where I want the lightest mountains to go, and then we'll start on that layer first. I think that might be a start. So I just heated up some water on the stove. It's not boiling anymore because I didn't want to melt the plastic, but it is hot. So when you have your dye, we're going to start off with the lightest color. This is Pearl Gray in the RIT dye. Shake it up a little bit. Stir that up. So to get that kind of gradient, see how it's kind of dark at the top and then it kind of shears out? What I'm going to do, dip into the color all the way and then pull it out and then dip into the water to kind of wash some of that dye off. Maybe we can get like a dark to light gradient that way. I'm not sure if it's going to work, but we're going to try. So I have my little tape up there as a guide. This is wet and we're just going to go ahead and start dipping. Wish me luck, you guys. So I think I'm just going to do section by section. How the hell? Oh, that kind of worked. That kind of worked. Or not. Oh my god. So the dipping obviously was not working very well for me. So I ended up just putting the dye into a little squeezy bottle. This happens to be like a hair dye bottle, but that worked out pretty well. Kind of working. That doesn't look too bad, you guys. Holy cow, that does not look too bad. Well, we got a little splatter here, so let's just make this mountain higher. Wow, that looks great! Yeah! Oh, okay. Now we have what we're doing. Sweet! So I'm going to take my leftover dye that I just put in this like little like hair dye applicator, put it back into the dye bucket. I'm going to add in just a little bit of this royal blue. Here our second mountain range. Add in some navy blue. This is the darkest color. Let me put that back into the squeezy bottle and continue with our third layer. So this is how it is looking right now. I let it dry overnight. Now I think what I'm going to do is trim the bottom so it's even. And I think I'm going to go in with another layer of the dark navy blue on the bottom just to kind of define these mountains a little bit more. This is looking pretty good. I'm going to take it back into the kitchen and do another layer of the dark navy on the bottom. For this part, I'm going to dip it in. So what I'm going to do is take like 3 strands, find out where I want them to go. Then I'm going to dip it on this angle. And that is going to give me exactly what I want. Shit. Splashed everywhere. So I don't really have a proper place to hang this right now. It's just kind of like on a little gallery wall of other paintings that I've done. So it's kind of smushed in here right now, not a proper place. I do really love how this turned out. We'll just call that little splash mishap some stars in the sky. for this second project, I wanted to do something very simple because that first one was a little bit crazy. And this one only requires one die and the help of gravity. So let's get into that one. So when it comes to stains, this Minwax Early American is my favorite. The Varathane brand, Home Depot started carrying Varathane after they stopped carrying Minwax. I'm not sure why. It's very similar, but you can tell, especially with the little color swatches on the front, that they're different. From this, it looks like the Varathane is darker than the Minwax, but I think the Minwax gives a richer color. I feel like this is a little bit more sheer. And then, holy camole, the Rust-Oleum Early American is red, like red. Like I can't use this because it's way too red. No wonder it was on clearance because it's really kind of hideous. Just in my opinion, if you like it, I'm sorry. Jacobean is also one of my favorites. It's definitely darker, but it's not as dark as the ebony. This weathered oak doesn't really show up unless you have like a very soft young pine, then it'll penetrate, but mostly you can't really see this one at all. Is the other little piece. I'm just going to take a sanding block and sand down the corners just a little bit. Sand down any rough patches. That Minwax Early American, I'm gonna go in with the paper towel, a glove, and stain up my little piece of wood. So for this second one, I will be using this wool yarn right here. It is Lion's brand Wool Ease Thick and Quick. It is not 100% wool. It is an acrylic wool rayon blend, but I did a little tester strip to see if this would dye nicely, and it does. So for this one, I want my little strips to hang down about 30 inches. So I'm just gonna do a little double at the top, so the whole strand would be 60 inches long. I'm going to attach the strands to the back with my hot glue gun and some Gorilla hot glue sticks. You guys, these are by far the best hot glue sticks on the market. I do need to update my glue gun because it's a little tiny thing and it goes through glue sticks like crazy. But all right, let's go ahead and cut our little things to 60 inches long, but in half they're going to be 30, and then we will get to attaching them to the back of here. Now you can cut each individual piece like that. You can just continue to wrap it and then cut all of the ends at the last step, kind of like how you'd make a pom-pom. This one is looking absolutely fantastic. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this wet, and then we're gonna dye it. Hopefully not make a monstrosity of a mess like we did previously. Just gonna use a little bit of this pearl gray. So I'm gonna do a gradient in the middle. This is looking really pretty. I love it. It kind of goes from a nice purpley gray gradient down into a light blue and then a very faint blue on the bottom. So we're gonna let this dry and then we'll trim it up and hang it up. This is looking so lovely. I just have to trim the bottoms. And then again, I still don't have a place to hang this, so it's just in a gallery wall of my other artwork hanging on some thumbtacks. I really love the gradient of this. I think it's really beautiful. I think it'll fit perfectly into many different type of home aesthetics. I I love how both of these projects turned out. I think yarn is definitely way easier to use, especially if you're going to be doing something kind of like a mountainscape. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video, and don't forget to tag me over on Instagram if you create any of these DIYs, because I love to see what you guys are doing, and I will see you guys on the next one. Okay, bye. You gonna say bye, guys? No, they passed out.